Ever feel like you're just adrift, like you're walking through a fog and the path you thought you were on has just disappeared? It's a weird, unsettling feeling, isn't it? You look at your friends, your family, the world, and it seems like everyone else has a map. Everyone else knows where they're going, and you're just standing there, feeling completely and utterly lost. It's in those moments when life doesn't make a whole lot of sense that something incredible often happens. Anime finds you. It's not just about stumbling upon a new show to binge watch. It's deeper than that. It's like the universe knows you need a different kind of story right now. Not a story about perfect people with perfect lives, but a story that gets it. A story that understands what it feels like to be completely, profoundly confused. Think about it. So many of our favorite anime characters don't start their journeys with all the answers. They're thrown into situations they don't understand, burdened with powers they can't control, or faced with a world that's way more complicated than they ever imagined. Take Shinji Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion. He's the poster child for teenage confusion and existential dread. He's thrust into this insane situation, forced to pilot a giant robot to save the world, but all he really wants is for someone to understand him, for his dad to notice him. He's constantly questioning his purpose, his worth, his very existence. And while we might not be piloting giant mechs, that feeling of being overwhelmed, of not knowing your place in the world, that's incredibly relatable. Watching Shinji grapple with his fear and isolation, we see our own anxieties reflected back at us. It's a validation that says, hey, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be scared and confused. Or look at Subaru Natsuki from Re:Zero. This guy is literally dropped into another world with no explanation, and his only power is to die and come back to a previous point in time. Talk about being lost. Every time he fails, he has to relive the trauma, carrying the weight of his mistakes and the knowledge of horrible things to come. His journey is a brutal, agonizing process of trial and error. He messes up a lot. He makes selfish choices. He pushes people away. He breaks down, but he also learns. He learns to be a better person, to rely on others, to fight for what he believes in, even when it seems hopeless. Subaru's story shows us that being lost isn't the final destination, it's a process. It's a painful, messy, and often terrifying transition, but it's a transition nonetheless. Anime understands that personal growth isn't a straight line, it's a messy, chaotic scribble. Our favorite characters don't just wake up one day and have it all figured out. They stumble, they fall, they make massive mistakes. Naruto Uzumaki starts as an outcast, a lonely kid desperate for acknowledgement. He's loud, he's clumsy, and he's constantly getting into trouble. He doesn't know how to connect with people because he has been rejected his whole life. But through his relentless determination, through the bonds he forges with his friends and teachers, he slowly, painstakingly carves out his own path. His growth isn't about suddenly becoming a perfect ninja. It's about learning to trust others, to believe in himself, and to understand that true strength comes from protecting those you care about. His journey reminds us that our starting point doesn't define our destination. This is a key reason why anime hits so hard when we're lost. It reframes the very idea of what it means to be lost. In our society, being lost is often seen as a failure. You didn't plan well enough. You're not trying hard enough, you're falling behind. But anime tells us a different story. It tells us that being lost isn't a failure, it's a prerequisite for adventure. It's the necessary first step towards finding yourself. You can't have a character arc without a period of uncertainty. You can't have growth without a struggle. Think of Simon from Gurren Lagann. He starts as a timid digger, living in the shadow of his charismatic big bro, Kamina. When tragedy strikes and Kamina is gone, Simon is completely and utterly lost. His entire world, his source of confidence, is ripped away. He's plunged into a deep depression, paralyzed by fear and self-doubt. That moment of being lost is the most critical point in his entire story. It has the crucible that forces him to stop relying on someone else's belief in him and to find his own. He has to dig deep literally and figuratively to discover his own courage, his own drill that will pierce the heavens. His journey from a scared kid to a legendary leader is only possible because he was forced to navigate that darkness on his own. These stories provide us with a roadmap for our own confusion. They don't give us easy answers, but they give us something far more valuable: hope. They show us that characters we admire and root for have been exactly where we are. They've felt that same gnawing emptiness, that same directionless drift. And they got through it, not by magic, but by taking one small, uncertain step at a time. By finding a friend, a mentor, a rival who pushed them forward. By holding on to a single, tiny spark of purpose, even when everything else was dark. When you're in your 20s, for example, life can feel like a series of questions with no right answers. What career should I choose? Where should I live? Who are my real friends? It's a period defined by transition and uncertainty. Watching an anime like A Place Further Than the Universe, about 4 high school girls who decide to go to Antarctica, can be incredibly powerful. They're each lost in their own way, stuck in the routines and expectations of their lives. Their journey is impulsive, a little bit crazy, and full of obstacles. But it's also a powerful testament to breaking free from the feeling of being stuck. It tells you that sometimes the best way to find your path is to just pick a direction, any direction, and start moving. The emotional core of these shows is what makes them resonate so deeply. The animators and storytellers pour so much detail into a character's facial expressions, their body language, the quiet moments of reflection. You see the conflict in their eyes, the slump in their shoulders, the flicker of hope when they hear an encouraging word. It's a visual language that speaks directly to our own emotional state. When you feel misunderstood and isolated in your own life, seeing a character on screen who perfectly embodies that feeling creates a powerful connection. It's like the show is looking right at you and saying, "I see you." And I get it. Ultimately, anime teaches us to trust the arc, not the confusion. Your life, right now, might feel like a single, confusing episode in the middle of a season. You don't know what's going to happen next. The plot seems to be going nowhere, and the main character you is making some questionable decisions. But that's all it is. One episode, one chapter. It's not the whole story. The characters we love didn't give up in their darkest moments. They trusted that their story was still being written. They believed that the struggle, the pain, the confusion, it was all building towards something. So if you're feeling lost right now, maybe it's time to let an anime find you. Let these stories of struggle and triumph remind you that being lost is not a sign of weakness, but a sign that you're in transition. It's the quiet before the breakthrough, the confusion before the clarity. You are in the middle of your own character arc. Trust the process. Keep taking those small steps, even if you can't see the path. Because just like your favorite heroes, your greatest adventure is just beginning. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments which anime found you when you needed it most. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time.